All right, we're here at NASL 3 Grand Finals in Toronto with none other than Mr. Bitter in Rotterdam, and it's really hot. Both these guys have been wearing suits inside, and there's about 2,500 people easily generating body heat. So, Bitter, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great, man. Canadian fans are awesome, and there's nothing like an arena full of sweaty nerds.
I couldn't agree more. We're having fun so far, and it's a bit hot, as you said, but other than that, everything's good so far.
And I don't think you guys have been to Canada before, right? Was this kind of what you were expecting as far as heat and that sort of thing?
No, actually not. I expected to see polar bears and stuff, really. Yeah. And I told Ben I really want to be a polar bear for one day, so I thought I could see here one, but it's actually very hot.
You should tell him the polar bear stories.
Yeah.
What would a day in the life of Roddy be if you were a polar bear?
Well, I was thinking about it. Imagine if you're just like sitting on an ice shelf or a shard somewhere at the Arctic, and all you see around you is just water and more ice, and you just sit on your ass and you eat a fish, and then like when you're tired of it, you can just slide down the ice and like whoop, and then you can swim around like zoof, zoof. I thought it would be a really awesome life.
How much thought did you put into this?
Quite a bit, actually, and whenever I told someone else this story, he thought that I was slightly under influence when I came up with this, but actually I was completely sober. I was just thinking if you could be an animal for one day, I really think polar bear would suit me.
And Bitter, if you could be an animal for one day, have you put any thought into it, like this guy?
Is there any animal that eats polar bears?
No.
What about a giant killer whale?
Fine.
Like if you're like swimming around, the killer whale just comes. No. If I could be an animal, I think I don't know. Maybe like a fish or a bird.
Yeah, so I can eat him. See, so I can eat him. My life is better.
No, but like a big fish. Like a big scary
I'd still win, man.
So, off the topic of polar bears and fish, this is a big event. I don't know if what people were expecting. You know, of course, both previous finals were in California. Did you expect this many Canadian fans to show up?
I've actually been really excited about this ever since we came back from Home Story Cup last week. I felt really excited just because I knew about the ticket sales, and I couldn't imagine how excited the Canadian fans were going to be. Finally, they have their own big event somewhere where they live. So I had really high expectations, and I'm glad that it's living up to the expectations so far. I really thought it was going to be this awesome, and we just started. Like, I probably shouldn't jinx it. A lot of stuff can still go wrong. Let's hope the building won't catch fire or something, but this is sort of what I had in mind, and I'm really glad so far it's turning out like I had in mind.
Yeah, kind of what he was saying. We knew the ticket sales were going well. Canada's got a reputation for having really passionate fans. I think the biggest bar craft in the world is in Montreal. And I really wanted to see like a really awesome crowd with a lot of energy. I didn't expect it to be like this on the first day. I sort of thought we'd fill most of the seats and people would be happy to be here. But we've got a packed house in there, and if it fills up anymore, I don't think we might get in trouble. Like it is like a fire hazard. There's literally too many people in there.
Well, not yet, but yes, we're edging that line. But so far it's so good, and this is what I hope for.
Okay, so as far as the tournaments go, there's the WCS as well, which has a pretty crazy bracket. You know, there's a lot of people having to eliminate each other really early on. I think Huck and Scarlett could meet in the second round. What are your thoughts and predictions on all those matches, and is there anyone that you have as a favorite?
No, I couldn't agree more with you. I think the Canadian qualifier is really stacked, and I kept a close eye on almost most of the WCS qualifiers, certainly in Europe. And despite some nations being considered probably stronger than Canada and StarCraft 2, if I look at the WCS bracket, I really think this is one of the strongest ones I've seen so far. As you said, a lot of good people will meet early on. TT1 and Slush will probably meet in the second round if Slush won. So that's a big game. Huck Scarlett is a really big game, but I'm going to go with the obvious, and I actually think that Huck's going to live up to the expectation. I think that he has been training really hard for this weekend, and hopefully he can feed off the energy rather than fold under the pressure. And I think if he handles it well, if he handles the expectation well, I think Huck is the best player out of all of them, and I think Huck will win.
I agree. I think Huck's the best player out of everybody, but I think this is a really hard tournament, man, and I think Zerg's having a lot of success right now, which is why I think Scarlett might actually be the player that's going to win this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised to see Scarlett win the whole thing. That's
a big prediction. I don't know how many fans would agree with you that the Scarlett will take out Huck. But by the time this gets out and is uploaded, you'll either look like a genius or a fool. So. Well,
we know Mr. Bitterdam predictions, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah. So with the NASL, you know, I'm not sure how many people know, but Puzzle and Alicia haven't actually arrived yet. They're only going to get off their plane at about 1 p.m., which is really unfortunate for them as far as jet lag and things like that go. So with those specific matches like Huck, Alicia, and Rhett, Puzzle, did that affect your predictions at all going into those matches?
I really thought that pretty much every quarterfinal we have here is 50-50. Like I really feel like that. There's not one quarterfinal that I really feel, okay, this guy is definitely going to take it. But yes, this starts maybe slightly tilted, slightly in favor of the other guy. But you don't know. Like obviously, any other player, any normal person in the world would say like this is unbearable, and most likely they won't be able to bring their A game. But I've seen crazier things in esports. It's been around for a long time, and I wouldn't be still surprised to see either Red or Huck lose to any of them. And there's absolutely no shame in that, because they might just show up and bring their A game. But it's a 50-50 before. Now I would say maybe it's 55-45 for the foreigners because of the travel conditions. But that's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't know if I completely agree. It sort of depends on the players. Some people travel really well, and some people travel really poorly. Like if it was me, I get off the plane and I come in and I have to play, it would never happen. It would just, I mean, I find travel really exhausting. So it all sort of comes down to that, man. And
you also always have the middle seat. That's the problem.
I do. I always have the middle seat. I'm always between two fat guys. So I guess these little Koreans might be okay.
And he travels with me most of the time. Thanks, Ben.
So did you guys have any problems getting in here? I know Jeff said in control said he had been harassed a little bit by customs. Do you guys hear any crazy stories about that?
I just told the guy that I really love Canada and I cannot wait to check out the city. He's like, cool man, have fun. I was like, yeah, go Canada. He's like, yeah. So no problems.
And I know you guys spent some time yesterday and maybe the day before adventuring around Toronto and that. Any crazy stories that you had?
Crazy.
He smiles. He smiles and starts laughing.
I got a crazy story for you. I woke up at 5 a.m. and Kevin still wasn't back in the hotel. So I don't know what to make of that.
Where were you?
I was just like, I went. Yeah, that's it.
You were out?
Not at 5 a.m. anymore. I mean, this is also, guys, this is not yesterday. I would never go out that late. Well, maybe I did that once in the past, but I completely regretted that and I would never do that again. But I can confirm about how serious I've been in the last 6 months. So this was the day before yesterday. I had no more plans for the rest of the night. We were in town with all the guys. And then I said, yeah, come on, let's just stay in town. Let's have some more drinks. Now we can do it. Tomorrow is going to be the day before the final, so we don't want to do that. But yeah, they were all wussies and want to go home. So I was like, yeah, okay, let's have some drinks. Then I met some fans who said, like, yeah, I live in Toronto. I would really love to take you out for a beer. I was like, cool. And then I knew someone else who also lived in Toronto. So like, I'm going to hang out with her as well. And I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Yeah, and then it turned out to be quite a late night. But I was asleep by the time it was 5 a.m.
And you, any big adventures or?
No, man, I was home and in bed by 11.
Now, the question I always ask everybody that visits Toronto is if they walked on the glass floor at the CN Tower. And for you guys who don't know, basically the CN Tower it's one of the tallest buildings in the world. It's top 10, say. And when you go up inside of it, there's a big glass floor that looks straight down, and it's, I don't know, 1,800 feet, I'm guessing. Did you guys stand on top of it?
I tried. I gathered all my courage and I tried to get a picture while I'm standing on it, so it looked tough. But it's pretty exciting, pretty scary actually. I'm not like super scared of heights, even though I have this weird feeling inside when I get close to an edge. So I tried. I stood up on it and I got off of it really quick again.
And you?
So the funny story about Kev on the glass floor, he walked on the glass floor. If the pavement is the glass floor, then the yellow line would be the metal support beam that holds up the glass. And that's what Kevin was standing on the whole time.
So if the glass broke, then you'd be okay, right? You'd just stand on the metal?
Exactly. That's what went through my mind right now. Like, it looked like I was standing on the glass floor, but meanwhile I thought, like, okay, I can still walk over the metal stuff and go back to the safe side.
Okay. And how long are you guys in the country for after NASL?
Unfortunately, I leave already on Monday afternoon, so I will be back in Holland on Tuesday morning. I would have loved to stay longer, but I'm not in charge of the person who's booking the flights. This flight was booked a long time ago. But from what I've seen so far, I really love this city. And I mean, I've been traveling really a lot, so I've seen a lot of major international cities around the world. But I had a ton of fun the first day. I just felt that everybody was really nice, and I love the architecture in the city, and I love just how everything looks. I feel it's a mixture between a couple of really big cities. Let's say it has a little bit of New York feeling to me, with a lot of skyscrapers, a little bit of Chicago feeling because it's close to the lake, and I don't know, the people were awesome. I really love it, so I wish I could have stayed longer, but I already have plans to come back. And when I come back, I want to go to like the north side of Canada where there's a lot of snow, and I want to take like a dog sleigh and like get run by 8 dogs and maybe see a polar bear.
Yeah, you should come in the winter, like in Montreal and Ottawa and that. There's a lot of winter festivals and you can skate on the ice and all of that.
I really want to go curling. Is there a place to do that here?
You can probably go curling in Toronto. You just go to an arena, basically, and do it. But I don't know how quickly you could get there.
If I was an Olympic athlete, I'd be a curler. I'd be the guy that does the broom. I think I could be pretty good at that. You just like sweep the ice.
I think it's a little more complicated than just sweeping. I think there's more skill to it than that.
The guy that throws the rock is the hard job. Because you got to like aim it and stuff. The sweep guy is just like, yes, just don't hit the rock when you're sweeping, and you're good, right?
I know nothing about curling, so I'll just assume you're right. Okay. So it's like 90 degrees outside and humid and windy, and so I'm going to let these guys go back inside. Any final words?
I just want to thank everybody who's been watching us since the very first day. When we made the switch from ESL to NASL, a lot of people definitely had their doubts and didn't even really get it, why we would do that. But I think 99% of the people out there really enjoyed what we've done with season 3, and it's definitely not just us. There's a lot of people backstage who've been working really hard and they make us look good. And yeah, people have been very well receiving by what we've done. They loved what we've done. So I want to thank all those guys who watched not only the finals but has followed us throughout the entire season. And big shout out to them, and I hope that you guys are going to enjoy the finals. By the time that this is on, as you said, you guys will probably see a lot more, so I hope you guys are still having fun. And big thanks to all those people.
And of course a huge shout out to Team Liquid, because Team Liquid is like the driving force in our entire community. Like, it is our community. So I always say that Team Liquid pays my bills, because they kind of do.
And last but not least, if you guys like the finals, you like everything we've done, I really hope you guys follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/liquidred. So.
Me too.
Him too. All right. Yeah. So good luck in the rest of the event, and I'll let you guys go. So thanks very much.
You're welcome.